forkin' fly is back, man. Did I get it?
I think you might have. Maybe not.
Probably not. I hate that thing. Hello everyone, welcome back to Foster the Meeple, a channel all about
board games
and
adventure.
Exactly. We're here today with another episode of Pumped Up Kickstarters. And today's video is all about Boundless Stride from Incredible Dream. Now, usually this is when we would show you the box, but the copy that we have is a super prototype. In fact, it came to us in a pizza box. And
We're unsure.
Well, it looks like a pizza box.
I'm pretty sure it's a pizza box.
And so instead of showing you that, we are just going to put a picture up here on the screen to show you the game that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Now, this video is sponsored by Incredible Dream, so thank you to Incredible Dream for sponsoring this video. The copy of Boundless Stride Into the Denlands that we received is specifically for reviewers and previewers and only has kind of a small amount.
Portion, yeah.
A small portion in it. So we haven't played the full game, but we have played a portion of the game. Okay, so as per usual with our preview videos, we are going to do a little overview and then jump into a discussion. So let's go to the overview and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk at your face.
Talk at your face.
Talk at your face. In Boundless Stride Into the Denlands, you'll form a fearless team of 4 scouts from a cast of 6 lovable critters. Lead your squad on daring expeditions to unravel the secrets of your land while working together to complete missions. As the storyline unfolds, you'll unlock new locations, maps, and missions in this extraordinary cooperative legacy game. Through your journey, you can expect the game to evolve and transform. Rules and components will permanently change as you play stickers, solve intriguing puzzles, mark your progress, and document your discoveries. As scouts, you'll venture into the Denlands, gazing at the stars, learning the languages of the animals, and uncovering the secrets of the elusive Brems. Will you rise to the challenge and become the heroes the Denlands desperately need? Gather your fellow scouts, embrace the adventure, and stride boldly into the heart of the Denlands. And we are back, Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Boundless Stride Into the Denlands. From here on out, we will just say Boundless Stride.
Yes.
Because it's a very long title.
Yep.
And we're very busy humans. We just don't have time to say 3 extra words, apparently.
It's true. Yep.
So this game is a cooperative game. It's for 1 to 4 players. And essentially what you're doing is everybody is playing as an animal. The animals are called scouts.
Yep.
No matter how many players are playing, you must play with 4 scouts. So when we played, we each took on 2 animals.
Yep.
Did we have favorites? Yes.
Clearly.
Who was your favorite? I know who it is.
I can't remember the name. Percy?
Paige.
Paige. Paige is a turtle. Paige can carry a lot of stuff because Paige also has a backpack. But
backpack.
Paige is slow. As turtles... as turtles...
I like turtles.
As turtles be.
Yeah, exactly.
But Paige is my favorite.
That's your favorite.
Yeah.
My favorite is Nicket, and it is a raccoon with like fairy feathers, and she's so cute with her little raccoon hands. So anyways, there are quite a few different characters that you can choose from, and like I said, as long as you have 4, you're good to go.
And they all have like kind of like asymmetrical little abilities.
Yes, they all
like
have a special little ability that they can do. Most of them are passive abilities that they can always do. So that's your team, and they're called scouts. Okay. Did I already say that?
Yeah.
Oh. So that's your team, and they're called scouts. There, I said it again. And basically what you're trying to do is you're going through a scenario. You're trying to complete a mission. So each of the scenarios are going to give you a different like stack of mission cards. And on those mission cards, you're going to be flipping them up throughout the game. And you're going to be trying to complete all of the ones that the scenario wants you to do. So oftentimes it might be pick up certain resources and deliver it to a certain location.
Correct.
And then once you complete it, you get to go to another one and all of that stuff.
Yep.
Now, like I said, we only had a portion of the game. So the map that we had didn't change, but I believe in the final game, there's going to be multiple different maps.
I think that's correct, yep.
So we played the Maze Forest, and in our scenario, we had 4 missions that we had to complete.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going around the map and you're doing different encounters. So there's face down tokens all over the map. Some are red, some are blue.
Some are good, some are bad.
Some are good, some are bad. And you are interacting with these encounter tokens, basically. So, like, you flip it over and it might tell you to add resources, or it might be a way for you to pay resources to get rid of some bad stuff, which we'll talk about in a minute. It might be kind of like an NPC where it takes you to a different, like, passage in the encounter book. So it might, like, tell you a little piece of the story or tell you something that you get to do later on in the game. What is really interesting about this game is the movement. Would you like to explain the movement?
Sure. So in this game, you have kind of like movement tokens, and you actually have to place those next to each other and then attach your figure to the end of that line. That's how you're going to move. It's limitless within that kind of confine. So you can go in any direction you want to go in. Obviously, you can't go off the map or that sort of thing, but you can kind of go in multiple directions. The movement's very free-flowing and kind of unique in so far that, again, like, you have to attach all of those pieces together in order to move around the map.
Yes, and each of the movement tokens will have certain colors on them, and the map also has colors. So if you have a green token, you could put it anywhere on the map, like, next to you, so long as it's green. But I couldn't put purple on green. So long as you have a little sliver of the color, you're good. And then there's also wild movement, all this good stuff. A lot of the passive abilities of the characters have to do with movement. Like Sleek the Otter can do a slide action. Monty, who is one of your characters, can leap, which is pretty cool.
So yeah, like normally your big figure, again, we had just kind of like these
cardboard circles,
cardboard cylinders. But with like the leap action, like I could place a couple movement tokens and then leap my character and then keep going, which allowed me to go a bit further. But for example, like Jim was saying, like Paige has less tokens that I can place out, so she can't move quite as far, but they're all wild. So she can go over any type of terrain just on a slower pace.
A little bit of a slower pace, like a snail.
Like a snail.
You're also going around and collecting different resources, which are also going to continuously spawn on the board. Now, you're probably like, okay, well, what's the purpose? You're completing the missions and whatever. There is something that is going to get into your way. Here's the thing. There's hazards. And the first phase that you're doing is daytime. And that's great. You're going around, you're traveling, you're exploring, you're encountering, you're chatting, you're doing whatever. Then we go into nighttime. And in nighttime, you have what's called like the night cup. So we used a cup. You could use a bag, whatever you want. There's a bunch of tokens in that cup that do different things. Some of them are potentially a baddie that you need to put out on the board. In our scenario, the baddies were called howlers. So you put them out onto the board, and if you don't defeat them in that next round, then you have to draw an extra token out of the night cup, which isn't great because it's filled with more baddies, hazards, and all of this stuff. So there's different ways that you can defeat the baddies, but that's in the night cup, and it's something that could come up. Another thing that's in the night cup are those hazards. So each scenario is going to tell you different types of hazards to put into the cup. Now, in our scenario, there was fire and there were like landslides. There's 2 areas on the board that if they get overrun with these hazards, you lose. If any character ever gets touched by a hazard, you lose. And at first we were playing it and we're like, oh, what? That's not so bad. We lost because we got overrun with hazards because we weren't worried about the hazards. We thought no big deal. Guess what?
No.
Big deal.
we said NBD and it was BD.
It was BD. It was definitely BD. So it's a lot of like board management as well. And with that being said, like a lot of the missions are about delivering resources. And so you need to also think about that movement you have because realistically, you don't have a ton of movement that you
And it's
can
a
do
big
in
map.
one round. It's a relatively big map. So there's a lot of strategy. You really do need to work together cooperatively, because if a baddie gets on the board and you all need to come together, then you need to be like, okay, well, Monty, Paige, and Nickit are going to get all together to fight this. And so it's actually a lot more complex than it leads on at the beginning.
And there's like an ever-evolving story and stuff.
Yeah, but with that being said, like the rules overhead is really not overly like strenuous. Is that
it
the
wasn't.
word I'm looking
It
for?
wasn't. It wasn't complicated mechanically. It
For
was
sure.
Fairly straightforward.
Yeah. So really, in the game, that's what you're doing. You're exploring, you're potentially trying to defeat some baddies that come out, completing missions, and doing a little bit of hazard management and control. There is ways to get rid of hazard, to shrink it down during the game. All of these different things. And then when you complete that, what can happen is you may earn what's called a cutscene. So a cutscene just adds more to the game. It could be a variety of different things, and we're not going to tell you what they are because of spoilers and things like that. But when you win a game, you may be provided with a cutscene, which you can then open and then follow whatever it tells you to do. So really, it's just kind of adding to the story, adding to the background, like all of these different things.
Adding maybe some cool little things for the group to do before the next...
Perhaps a group activity.
Scenario. Yeah.
Who's to say? There are two more little things that we wanted to mention before we get into who is this for and who is it not for. There's two more components that at least came with our version of the game. The first is called Nickit's Notebook. So it's a little kind of like cardboard notebook, and throughout the game, as you're doing encounters, you may earn different types of stickers. A lot of the stickers have different like constellations and stuff like that on them, which corresponds to the other piece, which is Monty's constellation star chart.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And as you're kind of gathering these stickers, you're going to be drawing lines on the star chart in order to map out different constellations.
And this all combines into this ever-evolving narrative story that you're building as a group.
Exactly. 100%. Now, if you're thinking, is this game for me? That's a great question. Who would you say this game is for?
I think this is for anyone that's looking for a legacy campaign-esque light to medium weight game with a pretty robust narrative story attached to it.
I would say like a big piece of this is definitely like the story behind it. You know, you're going to maybe grow attached to the characters. You're going to be uncovering different things. It's like we've already said, it is easy. It's easy mechanically, but complex a little bit in the strategy in terms of like board management and stuff like that. So if that sounds like something that might be of interest to you, each session takes anywhere between 60 to 90 minutes, just so everybody is aware. And then I would say who it's not for, like if you are looking for like that heavy like dungeon crawler type of campaign game, you know, I'm thinking even about encounters in other campaign style games that are like really strenuous and kind of like more complex. There's a little bit less of that complexity within this. The encounters are really quite pleasant, and you're talking to little characters and you're like building onto the story, and it's really sweet. That's how I would describe it. The game is very sweet. Yeah. So if that's not your style, then maybe this isn't for you. I do think that this is a game that you could play with like your preteens or teenagers. Like if you want to kind of work through a story and work through a game together that's ever evolving, this could be a game for you.
Agreed.
Now, if you're interested in Boundless Stride into the Denlands, it is coming to Kickstarter soon. All of the information is going to be linked for you down below. If you're interested in checking it out, definitely do so. Now, if you're interested in board games, not this one's coming to Kickstarter, but other games, you should first start by checking your friendly local gaming store, and for us, that is
the Boardroom Game Cafe.
Heck yeah, it is. Do you like snacks?
I do.
You know what you should try?
Munch Pack.
It just happens to be right next to me. Munch Pack! Snacks for around the world. But that is everything that we have for you all today. So thank you so much for watching. If you like what you see,
please subscribe.
We hope to see you again soon. And now we say goodbye. Goodbye!
Later days.
You good? Well, that's going to take a while.
You know what I love? Pokemon.
Me too. We should buy more.
Okay. I'm good.
You're still going.
Okay.
Okay. He looks up, grinning like a devil. It's true. Shape your body is blue. Jeffrey, are you what?
Bit the inside of my cheek.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to. Wait, am I recording? Yes. Everything you got.
Everything you got. I was playing as Paige. One of the two was Paige. Paige is a snail. Turtle.
Paige is a.
I was so confident.
Oh my god.
That's how bad my memory is.
I
Like,
know.
we literally just played it.